Rise, rise,
One
rise,
rhyme.
rise.
One
That's it.
rhyme. One rhyme.
That's all it needed.
Only one rhyme, D. Only
That's
one
all
rhyme.
that's all it needed, man. That's like, I mean, that's the inconceivable feeling. That's not a song. That's like a feeling, man.
Crazy.
That thing is live.
It's crazy, man. You know what's so crazy too? A lot of people on this joint here thinks that it was an actual guitar player, but the guy who played that, man, was Bernard Wright. And Bernard Wright is one of the greatest, you know, he's out of Queens too, you know what I mean? He's one of the greatest keyboard players ever. Yeah,
wow.
Right, so he went into the studio, and you know, Bernard takes it to another level. So he started putting 5, 10 different keyboards together. And I said, yo, man, I'm gonna leave you in here by yourself, and you know, and I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do. I left him in the studio, came back, he started playing. When he finished, we couldn't even believe it. And he had this kind of Jimi Hendrix kind of mindset, I think. And when he was playing it, you know, emotionally, you know, because Bernard was the kind of guy that if he plays something, whatever he feels, he know how to transfer that feeling.
That's crazy to the
right to the extreme. You know what I mean? So when he did it, and then the track, when we did it, we were saying to ourselves, because Will had the track and he originated the track, and so when Will made up the track, it was another friend of mine named Chubb who said, he came to me one day, he said, yo, man, Will don't want to play you this track. He said he don't want to play you this track. He said because he think that is kind of, you know, off to the deep end or whatever. He said, but yo, I like this track, Doug. I said, okay, well, let me hear it.
Let me hear it.
So he came in and he let me hear it. D, when I heard it, I was like,
what?
I was like, is he crazy? But then when I was listening to it, I said, I could take this track and I could rhyme through it and do all these different styles. I said, but the track is so beautiful to me that I got to try to compliment it the correct way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then when Will knew about it, I said, Will, let me take it from here. And then as Bernard got into it, and then in the beginning of the song, a lot of people don't know this too. If they know this song, Play This Only at Night. What I did is when we were recording it and we had the 24-inch tapes, every time we would rewind it, it would make a sound, and the sound of the 24-inch tapes it sounded good going backwards. So I said, yo, record it when we rewind it going backwards and make that the beginning of the song. So in the beginning of the song, it's the actual song going backwards, and then I made it go forward.
Yo, that's like one of the best songs ever. I'm talking about not just hip hop. I'm talking about the best songs ever.
Nah, man.
Like, I get chills when I hear that, man. It's like it's something else.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was something else. Something else. And I'm starting off by saying this, man. You know that first of all, you know, I appreciate you joining me on this. That's first of all.
No, this is incredible, man. You've been doing this.
We don't get to do this all the time.
No, not at all.
I wanted to do it with you because you know, my spirit tells me what to do. You know what I mean? And I always know that, you know, what I get from you or what we've always had as a relationship is extremely genuine. And you're a very honest person. You're a very open person. And I felt like just your journey and us having a conversation, you know, because I didn't sit down and think about it or anything. I just said, you know, we gonna go where we go. You know?
Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's like if I saw you in Harlem, yo, Doug, what's up? We just
right. Same conversation. So I said to myself, I said, well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to start off by just, you know, first thanking you for doing it and
thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to get into a real hip hop conversation. And I want to get into a hip hop conversation from the perspective of this, though. When when did you first fall in love, like truly fell in love with hip hop?
Like when I fell in love, not when I heard it.
Not when you are, well, go from when you heard it. Where were you at when you first heard it? Right. And then tell me when you fell in love with it.
When I first heard it, I was on my block in Hollis, Queens, 197th Street. And I lived down on the quiet end of Hollis. Jay lived in the heart. Jay lived in the hood of Hollis. Right. I lived on the quiet end. I lived like 5 blocks. Jay was on 23rd, Run was on 25th. I was on 197th Street. Oh. But when I first heard hip hop, the first time I heard it, and I didn't feel it yet, but I heard it. My best friend Nathan, his brother Bernard was playing Spoonie G. Woo! The first one.
One for the first one. Two
right.
Time. Come on, y'all. Let's rock.
And there was some yeah. So he played that, but his was funny. Like I think it was like what, 12? I might have been 12. I was a kid, and I had never heard hip hop. But when I heard it, it was really cool. But the cooler thing about it was, Bernard lied for the whole year and said it was him.
Oh, he said it was him?
Yeah, because he knew the whole record. They were older. He was older than me. I think he was like 15 or so. So that's when I first heard it, but I didn't pay attention to it. When it first touched me, though, I was in the schoolyard. I went to Catholic school, St. Pascal Paylon in Queens. It's not there no more.
Right.
But I was in the 7th grade.
Wow.
And this might have been 77, because I was a class of 78. When I was in 8th grade, it was 78. 77, Billy Morris came. He was in the 8th grade. He came into the schoolyard, and he had the drawstring duffel bags at the school.
Yeah.
Remember those stuff from that era? He had one of those. He had the flat tape recorder. This is before boom boxes. Remember the flat
one when you press
pop it and it pop up. Yes.
Yeah. I used to make pause button tapes off of those.
With those? Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're like a really pioneer. You're like you're a veteran beyond, because I didn't know pause tapes until the pause buttons came.
Hey, look, I was making pause. You stop it, and then you record. You press the 2 buttons. You press the red in there, and then you stop it. Then you do it, and then you rewind it a little bit. Then you press it, stop it.
That's history right there.
That's how I made mine.
I didn't get into pause button tapes till the boom boxes, till the uprights came. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So long story short, Billy Morris, we was in 7th grade, and it was after school. Because we was Catholic school kids, we couldn't go to the park right after school. You got to go home and change your uniform first.
Right.
So you can fit in. Because if the public school kids see you, they're going to come take your money, take your shoes, and take your book bag. So you just have to go home, change it to your play. Your mother, if you went to Catholic school, had a uniform, you got to put your play clothes on. But we didn't have time to do that. So long story short, we was playing ball in the park, and Billy was in 8th grade. So Billy's father was the custodian at all the schools in the area. So he was kind of famous. Like his pops had money, you know what I'm saying? His pops ran he was the head custodian in the whole neighborhood. So Billy wasn't like a thug, but Billy was in the streets. So he knew all the gangbangers, the drug dealers and all that. So Billy was like, yo, come here. So we act like we don't hear him. And he says, "Yo, I ain't gonna say it again."
Hold on, but did you had your school uniform, or what?
Yeah, we had our school uniforms on.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So we're trying to ignore him. He went to the school, but matter of fact, he only lived around the corner from the school. So he would get out of school, go home, and change into his Adidas and his Pumas, and he fit right in. But long story short, he says, "Yo, come here." So we act like we don't hear him. So he says, "Yo, I ain't gonna say it again. Come here." So it's me and my 2 friends. I go, "Yo, it's 3 of us and only 1 of him. If he tries anything, we could jump his ass." You know, because we wasn't the funny guys, but I put 2 and 2 together. It's only 1 of him now. He ain't got the whole crew with him. So we walked over to Dougie, and he was like, "Yo, listen to this." And he pushed play on the box. And something said, "Doom, dat, doom, doom, dat, doom, doom, dat, doom." And then a voice said, When you mess around in New York town, you go down with the disco Chiba clown. You go down, go down, go down. You just keep the pep in your step. You don't stop till you get on the mountain top. And when you reach the top, you reach the peak. That's when you hear Eddie Chiba speak. And it stopped. It stopped, right? It was like a minute, 30 seconds. We said, do that again. We stood there for 3 hours listening to a minute and 30, and it had static and everything.
I love it.
It was like
it was dirty. It was a dirty tape.
Yeah.
It was a dirty tape, but good.
Yeah,
dirty. Good.
Right. And it was like
you had to pay attention.
You gotta listen to right, but it was just something that you felt it. It was like the beat and the voice. It was like, do that again. And it was a Friday. So my next question to Billy was, yo, can I hold that? Hell no, Daryl McDaniels, you can't hold my tape or whatever. And I'm pleading with him, yo, I'll give you my allowance. Yo, Doug, it went deep. I was like, you can have my mother. I'll give you the keys to my father's. And he was like, oh, yo, what the? But when I said that, he was like, oh, what the? Nah. And he was like, he was nice. So he said, okay, yo, you can hold my tape over the week and bring it back to school Monday morning. So for that whole weekend, I'm just listening to whatever it was. I didn't know what it was, but it just, it was crazy.
And that was Eddie Chiba, and that was
Eddie Chiba on WFUV. Wow. Remember, he had a station on WFUV, but we couldn't get it that good. It was static. You had to go stand in the corner of your basement.
Well, it wasn't WHBI?
No, it was WFUV.
Oh, wow.
WFUV. Eddie Chiba was on FUV at one time. Like it had to be pirate radio or something. That was crazy. Yeah, that was the first time that I heard it. That was like 77. 78, because of the tape, 78, I started noticing the block parties now. Because now I'm like, yo, that's the thing that they was doing on the tape. But I still wasn't into it yet. So what happened, Dougie, you know, there's Rapper's Delight drops.
Right.
You know
but King Tim III dropped before that, though.
Yes,
right?
King Tim III. Yeah, Eric Turner had King Tim III. But there was something about King Tim III that was distinguishable from what I felt on the Eddie Chiba tape.
Right.
And from what I was still a kid. So I'm hearing I Can't Stop. I didn't know the names of these records. I'm hearing I Can't Stop and Scratching It and Apache and all of that.
Damn.
It was
different. Scratching?
Yeah. Yeah. There was something that, yo, that is something different than the hip hop, the hip stuff. Like it was just
and then in school, anybody that played Apache, if you heard Apache, you would want to play it on the desk.
Of course. Right, exactly. So that's starting to happen now, but everybody else is doing it. So I'm getting all these pieces thrown at me. You know what I'm saying? 79, Rapper's Delight comes out. Oh no, before Rapper's Delight came out, Super Rhymes. I heard Super Rhymes first. My brother had
Super Rhymes before Rapper's Delight?
No, I didn't know. No, I heard it after. You're right.
Right.
I heard Rapper's Delight, and then I heard, because my brother, they was older. He brought these records home. But this is the changing thing. So I'm noticing the block parties, and I'm like, that's the thing that they're doing. That's the thing I heard Billy play for me.
Right.
And now that's the thing that's on record. So it's coming to me like that. So my brother, he brings home Rapper's Delight and goes in the basement, and I listen to it. And the only thing that attracted me to Rapper's Delight, Dougie, was the rhyme about Superman. Because I was in the comic books.
Right.
Big rhyme. So, you know, it was foreign to me, hip hop to hip and I knew it was good times. I was like, that's the... So you gotta understand, I'm getting it in bits and pieces, but it's still foreign to me, but it's making me feel a certain way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the Eddie Chiba feeling was like bubbling. So Rapper's Delight comes out, and I was like a smart kid. So when my brother would leave the basement, and I would go to the basement, just listen to it over and over and over and over. So after listening to it 7 times, I knew it from start to end.
That's crazy.
So it's funny. Just that little bit of hip hop made me popular in the neighborhood, because everybody started knowing, that little kid Daryl knows Rapper's Delight from start to end. So all the thugs and the gang, the gang guys and the drug dealers would be like, yo, motherfucker, come here. Sing Rappers Delight. So I'm singing Rappers Delight because if nobody had it on a boombox, if nobody had it on a tape, if it wasn't playing on somebody's radio, so I was the guy that had to do it. So, I mean, at first it was kind of like I felt bullied, but then deep down inside I was like, yo, they like me.
Right,
I know this
you was hot. You was being accepted.
Yeah, because I do hip-hop.
Hey, but let me ask you, what happened to the cassette? Did you give the guy the cassette tape back?
Yeah, I gave it back to him that morning. It was a passing thing. I listened to it, I gave it back to me, but then I went back to being Little Daryl. That's what I'm saying. And I started now, it was always happening in the parks, but I'm still riding my bike. I'm still on my skateboard. I'm still talking about my AFX cars and my Tyco trains and all. You know what I'm saying? I was that
the
kid.
AFX.
Remember the AFX race car?
Aurora.
Remember those? All of that. So I'm that kid. I'm still that kid at that age. You know what I'm saying? Right. But now because of the tape, I'm starting to hear the bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing tapes here and there and stuff like that. And then so the Rappers Delight comes out, I start knowing it. But this is the thing that made me fall in love with it. After the Rappers Delight thing came out, let me back up a little bit. In '78, Joseph Simmons from the other class, like me and Joe, we didn't grow up together. We went to the same school, but we didn't hang out together. Okay. So Joseph Simmons in '78, this is before my brother brought Rappers Delight up. Joseph Simmons came over my house to play basketball with me, and we played basketball in the backyard. And he wasn't supposed to have company when no adults was home. So this particular day, I let Joe in my house, and Joe saw me and my brother's turntable set up, and he started telling me he was DJ Run and his brother was Russell Simmons and all of this. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you ever see those flyers up on the telephone poles and stuff like, well, bro. And you know, Joe was a star. It's like, yo, Russell Simmons is my brother, whatever. But I'm still trying to figure out. I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar with that, whatever. So make a long story short, I forgot to tell you that Joe, he would come over my house to play basketball, and he would have cassette tapes of the performances that he was doing with Curtis Blow, because he was the son of Curtis Blow. So he would come over and he would play the tapes and stuff. Now, I'm not writing rhymes or nothing like that, but I'm just experiencing this from him, right? So
he would be bringing the cassettes over
to my house.
Now, when was that? Was that after Sugar Hill Gang and after
No, this rapping? No, this is before that. This is before that.
This is before that.
This is after the Billy Morris cassette tape. Because Billy Morris
with Eddie Sheba.
Yeah, the Eddie Sheba thing was '77. Because I was in 7th grade. In 8th grade, at the end of that year, Joe started coming over my house to play basketball, and he would bring these little cassette tapes of, because he was the son of Curtis Blow.
Right.
Back then. He was 12 years old. During the summertime, Run would tour, not during the school year, but in the summertime, Kurt would take Joe to like the Bear Mountain performances and the Connecticut performances. So this little cute curly head kid would come out there and kick around and DJ or whatever for Kurt. So Joe was giving me that, and I'm acting like I'm not gravitating toward it, but it's slowly building up into me. Oh, okay. Now that he said, so Rappers Delight comes out,
right,
in '79, and the whole Rappers Delight thing. I learned that whatever. Then my brother brings home, because Rappers Delight was the Sugar Hill label was light blue with the rainbow.
That's right.
So it was very attractive.
Like a candy cane. Kind of like the way the words was written.
Right.
Yeah.
It was very attractive. So my brother, he brought home Rappers Delight, and he was also bringing home the scratching, but scratching would be the whole record.
The record scratching.
He was going up to he was bringing home the disco breaks, and he was bringing home the scratchings, and he was going up to Jamaica Avenue, and a lot of the break beats was on Giant 45, so 33s or whatever. Right. Because see, I wasn't into it yet, because what was about to happen was the thing that turned me to mustard. But my brother, the older,
they were feeding you. They were feeding you a little by little.
Right. So the first guy in my in the Hollis neighborhood of in the Hollis, Anthony, he actually got he got Gemini mixer. No, he got Newmark mixer and Technique turntables.
That's right.
Anthony.
And the Techniques was either, at the time that was 120s. 120 Technique turntable.
Wow.
And the Newmark mixer. And then it went from 120s to B1s.
The B1s, yeah. So Booby, I think Booby got the B1s. So my brother, we had the fake wooden turntables.
Right.
The BSRs. We wasn't BSRs. But my brother had to get it because his boys was getting these turntables. So he brings home Rappers of Light. I learned that, so now I'm kind of known for singing Rappers of Light.
Oh, 220s. That's what Will wrote. Will wrote 220. That's right, 220s.
He said
right,
220s?
It was 220s. Right. Go ahead.
So Rappers of Light comes out. So I'm still not completely sold yet on this. So my brother, he's bringing home he brings home Good Times. He brings home Apache. He brings home Scratch in it. He buys 2 Captain Skies, Super Sperms. Right. So my brother, he's getting all of the Super Sperms. He's getting the Good Times. He's getting all the R&B songs that was hot in the 70s, all the 77, 78, something like that. But then he brings home this red labeled record, and it said Enjoy on it. Woo! It was red. It wasn't like the Sugar Hill label, right?
Right.
So he comes, Joe Darryl, come listen to this. And he put the needle on that. And this thing came on. It was a party night. Everybody was breaking in the house, was breaking in the steam, was shaking in the bass, was going in, fast was on the beat. And I'm like,
unbelievable.
What?
Unbelievable.
It was completely different from hip hop to hip hop to hip hop. But then it goes.
So hold on, stop. When I heard that,
right.
That record, doom, 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 doom. It was a Friday night.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I stood outside of the record shop.
Right.
I mean, of the record store, just standing there.
Right.
And I could not even believe.
Right.
Like,
right. I couldn't comprehend.
It was no way for me. I mean, my brother had cassette tapes with Grandmaster Flash and the First Pop, but I never. When I heard that, it was so crazy. So I'm just letting you understand.
You felt the same thing. The
only person that felt that. I mean, it was like, is this even real? Is this even real? And then the way they was making more currency than any
DMC and the dream will turn to reality. A melody, make it money. Oh, yes.
Hey,
so
I couldn't even believe it, yo.
Yeah.
D, when I heard it, I couldn't even believe it. I mean, and I felt that same way.
Yep.
When I heard 1 for the treble, 2 for time. Come on,
yo, let's rock it. Loop, loop, loop. Right. Those are the feelings.
I couldn't
that feeling. When I heard it was a party, the Friday night or party night. It was a Friday night. When I heard that, it was over. It was like, give me a pen.
And then they said, and
yeah, but then this would bug me out because Rappers of Light was 3 guys and it was a long record.
Right.
So one guy would rhyme, the next guy would rhyme, next guy would rhyme, next guy would. This guy said, introducing the crew. No, hold up. The first guy said Italian, Caucasian, Japanese, Spanish, Indian, Negro, Vietnamese, MC, disc jockeys, y'all, fly kids for the. I never heard anything like that. Italian, Caucasian, Japanese, Spanish. It was like, what the fuck? It was different than.
It was like he's saying everybody, and basically everybody.
Right.
And then when he said MCs, disc jockeys, y'all, and he put the y'all on the end.
Yeah,
MCs, disc jockeys, y'all.
Right. It was like, why is he talking like this? And then
Crazy.
introducing the crew, you gotta see to believe. 5 different voices with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MCs. One dude said I'm Melly Mel and I rock it so well. The second dude said that I'm Mr. Ness because I rock the best. Third dude said Raheem and all the ladies dream. And then this other dude goes cowboy and I make you jump for joy. And then the fifth guy goes, and then they go solid gold. Yeah.
The Kid Creole.
That was the moment.
And hold on. And after he said that, you got me going through emotional changes with this one here. Homeboy said, Kid Creole, solid gold. And then he said, dig this. Like this, that's like I'm not even gonna say the rhyme. He just said, dig this. You understand?
Damn.
He said Creole, solid gold. The Kid Creole playing the role.
Dig this. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yes.
Like unreal. I still sometimes listen to that record.
Me too. And it still sounds overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
It's not even, there's no words to describe what they did on that record. There's nothing that I have heard. Like, I mean, it was like, and then you know what the other part about it was? Yo, D, they did it straight through.
That's right.
They did it straight through.
Yeah.
They did it straight through, all the way.
All the way up to my Mercedes, young ladies in my Mercedes, young ladies in my Mercedes break
down my grill.
Gonna wrap up in a new Seville. It was outer-worldly. So that was the moment where I said, I gotta do that. Give me a pen.
So that's
the day I became Easy D. Yeah, I became Easy D that day.
I love it.
The guy from Here We Go, they used to call me Easy D, but then so that was me. It was Easy D. So all I did was go in my basement, Dougie, and just write Easy D rhymes. Not for records, because you gotta understand, for me as this kid, I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know what the Bronx was. I didn't know what Harlem. There was some alien shit going on with me. And all I wanted to do was I wanted to be that the way I wanted to be fucking Batman. The way I played with my blanket, I'm Superman. I was trying to be it wasn't who these guys, whatever they are, I'm pretending to be that. So I'm just writing all these Easy D rhymes. Like I said, Run is coming over. Joseph is coming over. He's telling me he does this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him like, hold up, you too.
Right.
Yeah, man, the son of Curtis Blow. And then what happened in 1980, The Breaks comes out. These are the breaks. So now Joe is getting more shows because Kurt got a hot record.
So you didn't hear Christmas rapping first?
Yes, I heard it, but I didn't know who it was.
Okay,
it was just right. Because here's what's funny. When I first heard Christmas rapping, it wasn't the whole record. I thought it was a breakbeat because I was hearing in the parks people was rapping over it.
Right.
I didn't know. Like I'm in this whole all this was foreign to me. I didn't know until Joe told me that Curtis Blow got a Christmas record. Huh? Because I was hearing the DJs would play it in the park. It was like for Walk This Way with me. The DJs would play the instrument in the park, and other people were around on it.
Right.
Or I would hear it on the cassette
Walk This Way, it was only the beat. It was like
yeah. It would never play through the It would never play to the verse vocals because so it wasn't until The Breaks came out that I realized what Joe really was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
you didn't even realize. So when he was bringing the tapes over, you didn't really realize.
Right. He was just telling him the son of Curtis Blow, and I would hear him rhyme, but I didn't know he was doing because you gotta understand. I think Mo talks about that too. The records and the tapes was like two different things. You probably know this.
Oh, come on, I know.
Yeah, it was like two different things. There was just something about the super rapping wasn't a record. You know, it's like Rappers Delight was a record. Super rapping was like, what the hell?
Super rapping was like intense hip hop, like skills. Like that's the closest that you got to a tape with like the
Right.
stuff that you heard on the tape at a
Right. Without
at a
static.
show. Yeah, like when you heard the Cold Crush Brothers on the tape were fantastic.
That's
Biggie,
well, right.
I mean, right. But we'll get
Exactly.
to that. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna
So
take our time.
it was
taking our time.
super rapping was the thing that I'm Easy D now, but not for the world. So Joe is coming over.
So you were secretly
Right.
Easy D. All right.
Secretly Easy D. Yep. I'm sitting there listening to shit Joe's doing, and he's not knowing that I wasn't ready to tell him that.
Right.
So what had happened was
Was you writing every day? Was you writing every day?
Every minute. I used to get in trouble in school, in high school. Well, hold up. Let me go. The beautiful thing about me was this, Doug. All of this was happening. So in '79, I started high school. I was a class of '82 at Rice High School, 124th Street in Lenox. So I would take three buses and three trains and 2 buses that go all the way from Hollis to Rice. Rice was an all-boys Catholic high school.
Why did you go to Rice? Why did you go to Rice?
Number one, I was smart enough to get in, but my best friend Douglas Hayes, Butter Love now, he went there, so I would always follow Butter. So he was like, pick Rice High School, okay. Okay. So I go to Rice High School, and I'm learning British Walkers, and Playboys, and mock necks. Like Harlem was fly.
Overlots.
Yeah, all of that. It was like all of that. It was a whole the quarter fields.
Damn.
Like
Peacoats, remember the Peacoats?
Peacoats, quarter goose down, all of that shit. So I'm in there. So in 9th grade, what had happened was, Super Rapping was out, Rappers Delight was out, all the records that was out, Super Rhymes, all the records that came out. Another record that blew my mind when I finally heard it was, and it hit me with a left jab and a left jab and a right uppercut. Just out of my mind because it did that to me. When I heard high-powered rap,
you said left jab and right uppercut. What was that?
High-powered rap by the Crash Crew.
Oh my God!
When I heard that, it was like, oh.
Well, let me ask. But stop there for a minute. I'm gonna ask you a serious question. This is real serious. Which one? And this is a debate going on for a while. Which one did you like better? Furious 5's version,
right,
or did you like Crash Crew's version?
Crash Cruise.
I told Barry that the other day. I said,
Crash Cruise.
Even though Crash Cruise, it didn't sonically sound better,
right?
But the energy on it was just so like you could tell that they was excited, and not to take away from the Furious 5, but it was just. When you heard G-Man singing,
it was raw, right? It was raw.
Reggie Reg. It was the same example that I would make between the Sugar Hill Gang and Super Rapping. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was that meaning that it had that same kind of difference between the two of them, because when I heard Crash Crew, we don't want to be left behind. All we want to do is just blow your mind.
Just one more.
And you say New York City right about now.
The
sound that you hear, have no fear. Disco Dave, the amazing Crash Crew here.
Back by Popular Man, here to rock the motherland. Bring
Give
you the
your
baddest.
body what you're bargaining for. And your mom bring you the baddest jams you can find.
We don't want to be, crazy. So that was like a bah, smack, like boom, bang. I'm like, whoa, what is this?
And you were still writing?
I'm writing. Yeah, I'm writing through all of that. Because a mock, mocks were fly. Those mocks was fly. They made you look and feel real good.
Fly, unbelievable. And last thing I'll say, because I'm on some Harlem.
But I'm saying I'm Harlem. I understand because I'm coming from Queens and I'm getting it now.
Yo, I was on the phone talking to Hollywood the other day, and I told him, I said, B, I said, let me tell you something. I said, Champagne Cologne. Champagne Cologne was a major thing in Harlem. Like, if you out on Champagne Cologne, that was like, when you walk in, everybody would be like,
yep.
Because the smell was just so crazy.
It was so unique. It was, yes, it was so unique.
But go ahead, finish. I'm sorry. I just got
no, that's all it. So that's the benefit I'm getting. I'm coming from Queens, and I'm getting all of this from, these rappers. These MCs and DJs, right.
Really?
Right, they wasn't rappers.
Right.
They were MCs, we didn't call them, they were MCs and DJs, right. So I'm
no rapper.
MCs, yep. So I'm getting all of these guys before they made records. So 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. So
stop there. So who's somebody that you heard on one of those tapes back then that didn't really come off, but you always thought that they was nice? Somebody like we just talked about, Reggie Reg. Was there anybody else? Like, did you hear Master Don and the Deaf Committee? I don't know if you heard them on there.
No, I didn't hear them I didn't hear them on the tapes till after that record came out. I didn't know about them. But I was getting Funky 4+1. I was getting Treacherous 3. I was getting Cold Crush. And I was Furious 5. The Furious 5, Terrence had the dub plate of when they first did Party Night live with the beatbox.
Unbelievable.
That went. I didn't know flashing them was that dope.
Right.
When they came with listen to this, listen to this, just listen. For all you MCs in a crew, this is what we want y'all to do. Shoot, 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 shoot. So you want to be an MC? Whoa,
that was crazy.
Hold it. When they said, "So you want to be an MC, huh?" I stopped writing. So I thought you were talking to me. I'm from Queens. I stopped writing. They're looking at me.
Yo,
I'm crying.
Real? Are you being real?
Yeah, I stopped writing.
Are you being super real? When you heard that,
for all you MCs in a crew, this is what we want y'all to do. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Hold up. Step back, boy. You ain't down. Yo,
that was crazy.
That record made me think I'm from Queens. I'm not really supposed to be doing this. Don't get killed.
Wow.
Stop.
And the part that's crazy though, when I get
so you want to be an MC, huh?
Like for real? You really want to do this?
No. I'm a school kid.
Hey,
that's
look,
what I had all of these. I stopped writing.
Yo, let me tell you this. Hold on, because we gotta finish this, because
I realized that was the party night thing, but this I didn't know they did that too. So I'm in trouble. They know everything.
Yo, hold on. I hear somebody telling me they're gonna cut us off. So look, all of y'all, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna come back in, because tonight we gonna finish this.
Man,
this is real, y'all. This is real hip hop conversation.
Crazy. Yep.
You have no idea how crazy this. We didn't even get into records yet.
No, you can't.
So I just want you to understand what this is. This is a real hip hop conversation. So I'm gonna jump out and then you come back in.
Okay.
All right. Real hip hop tonight. Real hip hop tonight.
Yeah, too much.
Real hip hop tonight. I'm not even
gonna
play. Look, we gonna finish right here. Now, all you MCs in a crew. This is what we want y'all to do. Shoot. So you want to be an MC, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we got something for you.
For y'all. Yeah, man.
Step back, boy. You ain't down.
Y'all standing on shit. We want y'all to understand that we're the Furious Five guys. We came here tonight. Full of alpha-station. With five shining bright.
That's right.
So ladies, move your feet and boogie to the beat, because we're Furious there's 5 MCs, another one, and none of y'all compete to what you, yo.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot. Hey, and look, and let me tell you a little bit.
Shoo-wop, bye.
Crazy.
Shoo-wop.
Crazy.
And then they started going, Zulu. Good, like they got
Oh,
gritty.
the whole beat changed.
Gestapo, yeah.
Zulu, Gestapo.
So that record scared me. It scared me. Like,
I understand.
Like I got scared. I'm like, whoa.
Damn. I was in the heart of it at that time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It was like, whoa. So just because you gotta understand, I'm hearing freedom, I'm hearing and I love that flashing of records. Genius Rap. Melly Mel said Jim Papel, Melly Mel, Murder.
Mademoiselle.
Yeah. I got waterbed seats in my limousine, and every time I'm like,
got to be clean.
I tour around the world and make the people dance. Here's a little message. So all of that, I was living on. But it was just something about hearing that, and then Terrence Washington giving me Mr. Ness rhyming with the echo chamber. His voice sounded so good with the echo too.
It was crazy.
But to hear Melly Mel go, because I'm knowing Melly Mel from, super rapping and all of that. But to hear Melly Mel go, Melly Mel, y'all, rock well, y'all, with that voice. So that's what I'm getting. So I'm like, wow, man, that's what I want to be. But when they made Shoe, it made me see they can't do that, DJ. So
you stopped writing for a minute.
I stopped writing for a minute. I just,
right.
you're not.
And you was writing in
it was
Rice?
sacred.
Was you in Rice? You was
yeah,
writing
all through
in
Rice. Yeah, all in my English. I'm writing these Easy D rhymes. It was Easy D.
It's crazy. My 2 sons went to Rice. I put my, all 4 of my sons actually. My name.
Wow.
All of them went to Rice.
Wow.
Everybody went to Rice.
So yeah, so I'm there. Rice is my training ground. I got a new rhyme. I got trained in Rice. So that was my whole life, getting all of this other stuff that, because, once the records came out, it got so focused on the records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It got Planet Rock Drop. It got so focused on this. So I'm thinking, Jay knew, when I finally met Jay had a lot of these tapes. Jay,
so you met Jay when you was at Rice.
No.
Meaning you were going to Rice when you met him.
No, I didn't meet Jay until Joe put me in the group. I knew who Jay was, but I wasn't hanging with Jay. Yeah, I knew who Jason Monzel was, but hey, how you doing?
So Jay was down with because Run wasn't rhyming at the time, right?
No, Run was rhyming. By 9th grade, Run started getting gigs with DJ Hollywood had a disco son called DJ Smalls.
That's right. I know.
DJ Smalls used to go at Run hard. That's why Run had so much confidence too. Because I remember one summer, Jay did just Run just like 11th grade now. So, before it was just, Run, Curtis Blow. I'm like, wow, whatever. But Run always hated me because I'm here.
You focus.
I'm just listen. I don't care about the breaks. I care about this Autobahn tape.
Right.
Run couldn't understand. Like, why are you listening to those guys? Because Run was looking at, I'm getting ready to make records. I'm gonna be a recording artist. To me that shit was corny.
Right. You wanted to be. It was a Friday.
Yes, y'all.
Right. That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted.
But I understood what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So in 11th grade, Run gets a little disturbed because now he's been around long enough. He got competition. DJ Smalls was Run's competition.
Right.
So he's bringing home, D, there's this guy, and he's looking for me to console him. What should I do? And I said, just go out there and DJ and, be DJ Run or whatever. So that was my life.
Did he know you was rhyming by then? Did he know you was writing?
No, not yet. So what had happened was in 12th grade, he comes over one day. This is during the school year. And we're in my basement, we're DJing. Because before I started writing my rhymes, I learned to DJ. Like I wanted to be flash. So I learned it because my brother and Anthony, I learned how to do good times. Because before rapping, it was DJing.
Right.
Everybody wanted to be flash.
Right.
So,
everybody wanted to DJ. Most guys that rhyme wanted to DJ first.
Yep.
But you're just trying to find your love. You're trying to figure out which one you like the best.
Exactly. So I actually taught Joe how to, he knew how to play Kurt's records, but he didn't know how to DJ. He didn't know how to do super spurb, super quick mix.
Right.
So I knew how to do it because, you know, to me, I'm playing. You gotta understand, Ducky, I'm pretending to be these guys.
Right, right.
So the record scares me. You step back, okay. How do they know I'm writing? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, how do they know? You know what I'm saying? But I respect them so much. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be MC. No, I'm a school kid. So it was in 11th grade where 12th grade, Joe comes over. And we just in the basement. He finds my rhyme books.
Wow.
He finds them. And he goes, what's this? And I'm like, it's a problem. And he looks at it, he starts, he said, yo, D, this is good. He was like, yo, D, this is really good. You wrote these? And I was like, yeah, you know, it's like a hobby or whatever. And he looks at me, Doug, and I'll never forget.
So did you have the comic books next to it? Or what was your comic books?
No, I forgot. The comic books were gone. Hold up. We got to back up because you hit me with so much stuff in it. Let's back up.
B, you know, I'm going to ask the questions. Nobody going to ask.
Yeah. The comic books, my comic book collection was so my brother could buy turntables and a Gemini mixer.
Wow.
We did a comic book sale because we had my mother's receiver, we had the amplifier, we had the 2 speakers, we had 1 turntable. We needed another turntable, the $40, not crossfade, the $40 up and down Gemini mixer.
That's right.
Remember the little silver? It was plain. Right. It cost $40. It was up and down.
Wow.
We had to get one of those, and we had to get a mismatched turntable. So we did it. This is cool that you asked that. So in the summer of '79, we did a comic book sale. We wrote out with magic markers. Sharpies didn't even exist with magic markers. Remember, you used to buy the little pack of the McDaniel.
The ones that Cash used to write the like kind of like tag with. I know.
Yes,
yeah.
The McDaniels brothers is doing a comic book sale. This is in the summer of '79. The doorbell rings. It's Joseph Simmons. This is before he came to play basketball. From the other country, comes in my house. I had a huge Marvel comic collection. He buys comic books and he goes home. That was in '79. So fast forward to now.
Crazy.
He finds my rhyme books and he just looks at me and he says, yo, whenever my brother Russell lets me make a record, I'm putting you in my group. And he says that to me. And I looked at him like he was talking another language. Like, what the, huh? Like, did I hear that right? I'm like, I don't do it. In the back of my head, you ain't getting me in trouble. Flashing them was mad at me. I was like, you do this.
Was going to get me.
Yeah. You got to understand, I'm thinking that, nah, I ain't know. So he
hold on, and stop there. And for some information purposes, on the real, flashing them at that time, what Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 and Cowboy was the thug.
The enforcer, right?
Right. He was the enforcer in the crew. But they was also connected to Gestapo, to Zulu. So when they was talking, you felt like there was some kind of a threat that
they're gonna come get me.
Right. People,
I didn't understand how that worked. Yo,
and
you gotta understand, prior to that, you would hear Treacherous Street, Furious 5, Crash Crew. When I heard Africa Bambata, what the fuck is that? And the Zulu name. Huh? What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Yo, this is some other. Yo, I'm not from here. I don't.
What is this?
Like
what is this shit right here?
Yeah, it's the Black Panthers. Like, I'm not supposed to be saying it. Like, it was sacred to me.
Come on, listen to his name, Africa. And the
Bambata is scary. It's scary. Zulu Nation. Come on. So that was 11th grade. So in 12th grade, something major happened. 12th grade, I get to 12th grade, and Terrence Washington comes in 12th grade at the end of a week. And he got all the tapes there. And, you know, it's a T Connection, Sha Rock birthday party. And then he's showing me all of those, the MC conventions, Spoonie G, Ray Vaughn. He's showing me all of these tapes and stuff like that. But there is one tape up in the corner, and this tape is like $15. And I'm like, yo, what's that one right there? You can't get that one. What do you mean I can't get it? Nah, you can't get this one. First of all, it's $15. And I'm like, why is that $15? So he said, yo, this is, and I didn't understand what he had just said when he said this Cold Crush thing. I knew Fantastic Five MC, but he said, this is the Cold Crush. This is the Cold Crush versus the Fantastic Five at Harlem World. I've been going to school for 4 years in Harlem. What the hell is a Cold Crush? He's like, yo, that's $15.
And did you know? And did you know that there? Did you know that there was a Harlem World? And did you know where it was?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know. What the hell? What?
That's where I started.
Harlem, really? Harlem? Wow. So
I started at Harlem World in '81. The first fly I was on in Harlem World, and I got it. I'll pull it up one. 81.
That's legendary.
81. I was on the flyer with Busy Bee, Mastodon, Death Committee, Harlem World Crew in 81.
1981?
81. And then Busy Bee and Modi had the battle in 81.
Oh.
And I was in that contest too. I was in that contest.
Oh, you was?
Yeah, I was in the contest.
Wow.
But I was the amateur. I was sitting on the side of the stage when Busy Bee and Modi battled.
Really?
Right.
Hold on, Busy Bee. I don't mean to be
bold,
right.
but that's
you
right.
was there.
That's right. I was
you
there.
was there.
I was there. I was there. I seen it. And later when we get some time, I'll tell you the second part to that story that nobody really knows the story to the.
Wow.
I was actually sitting there, like right watching it all go down. Everything. And then you said something else. I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to give you some information and show you how our lives parallel with Spoonie G. Spoonie G was the first person I ever made a record with. Spoonie G used to walk down my block, and I would see him, and I would be banging on the cars, and I make a bunch of noise just to try to get him to see me, because his brother used to be at a record shop on 125th, so I would bang on the car just so Spoonie G would notice me, and then eventually he was a guy I made a record with, and that was the first joint you heard. Then the second part of the story that's interesting is Curtis Blow. The way Run was DJing with Curtis Blow, he's the son of Curtis Blow. Interesting story with that. Curtis Blow didn't have no equipment outside, no turntables, because back then in Harlem Week, they would have bands and dances, and it'd be like, I'm talking about at least 50 to 100,000 people out on 125th Street in Harlem. So Curtis Blow was going to be performing this time. So he wasn't he didn't have no turntables because they didn't know that he needed it. So I'm walking up the block, and that was the first time I got to meet Curtis Blow, and I did the beatbox for Curtis Blow on 125th Street when he didn't have no music. Right.
During Halloween.
I mean, you know, Curtis Blow was like equivalent to, I guess, Lil Wayne for some people, Jay-Z for somebody, Drake. Curtis Blow was like
a star.
I mean, he was unbelievable. So Curtis Blow, and he was with Run. I got that connection.
That's crazy.
I got that connection. And then Curtis Blow's teacher is Hollywood. Hollywood is Curtis Blow's teacher. Hollywood, Love Bug. See, Love Bug came out of Hollywood. So I learned directly from Hollywood.
Wow.
Like no middle ground. I learned directly from him. I learned directly from Love Bug. I learned directly from Busy Bee. So that's why it's a different kind of thing. So Harlem World, at that time, that battle that you were talking about, that was a serious battle. So go back to the tape. I'm just filling in some gaps.
Of
to
course.
Let you know.
Wow, that's amazing. I just want to sit here and let you talk now.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Now we finishing yo.
Yeah,
Story.
all right. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I'm like, yo.
So that tape for $15.
Yeah, I didn't have $15. I'm like, yo, I got $7. Can I please get that and I'll owe you the money? And at first he didn't want to do it, but he said, yo, this, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been a good customer. And I'm like, please, I'll owe you the money. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
$7, he gives me the tapes. And then I spent the rest of the year ducking his ass because I didn't have $15. So he caught me in the lunchroom, and I had to bring him $2 a day till my debt was paid. But I take this tape home, and my brother, he had a Sanyo boombox, the Sanyo 2-speaker boombox at the time.
Yeah.
I go in my brother's room, and I'm looking, it says Cold Crush 4 versus Fantastic 5. And I put the tape in, and something totally crazy happens. This thing comes on. What's up, Fly Girl? Hello, Fly Girl. It's the big showdown at Harlem World. Cold Crush 4 versus Fantastic 5. Then I hear They Ain't No Comp. Well, eat 'em alive. Because we're the best when it comes to rapping. And like the flyer said, it was bound to happen. So the time has come to let the battle begin and let the crowd be the judge of who wins. And then it went into this. We don't need tuxedos because all we want to do is do Kev and Rob, Master Rob and Whip and Ruby D like we always do. Say what? We battle fantastic. And here's a little gift. And I had never heard this on a record. So before they go, they all can know just who you're fucking with.
Woo!
It's one of those moments where you go, what is this now? It Charlie, Chase, Tony, Tone, and I had never heard something. Now, Shoop was scary, but this was...
That was crazy.
Shoop was threatening. This was pure, unadulterated murder.
Right.
Who the
he got it's like he got the gun out. He got the gun out.
But I had never heard something called the cold crushing motherfucking tough ass 4 MCs.
Woo.
And then they dropped Heartbeat by the Treacherous 3. And then they start going, hey, yo, yes it's true. The 4's got a brand new song for you. We got routine rhymes and dances too. So what you wanna do? Chase, Tone. But it was just the report. I never heard a crew like this before. And the way we rock the mic, it's against the law. We got much. And then Grandmaster Cass, Raising Hell. I'm the hut maker called JDLL. Easy A, don't forget the D. And I'm KG. The Almighty. No doubt. I listened to that tape over and over and over and over. And then this was my christening or my baptism in the hip hop. After they did the famous routines, after they did the initials of my name, and what was good about initials of my name, it was like, yo, that's that Harry Chapin folk song over Rockin' in the Pocket. They said not talking about your mother, your mother not talking about your uncle, your uncle not talking about your father, not your mother. There was just something about
and not your mother, your brother, or other
MCs can't deal with us because it was something different about them.
It could, I'm honestly, and I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, honestly, it honestly almost made it almost made everybody around. It almost made us pass out. It almost made us pass out. Right. It almost made us pass out. It was like, where is this coming from?
The sound of it, right? Like
it's crazy. Did you ever have a cassette tape that popped?
Yes, all the time.
And when,
all the time.
Did you ever take the
tape, try to scotch tape it back together?
Right. And then you put it back in there. You got it. People don't understand.
They don't. You have to work. We had to work.
You had to open it up. It's like surgery.
Yes. Right. You did surgery to keep These things wasn't inanimate objects. They were living beings that you had to repair and keep alive. So
yo, it
when
was
I
like
heard that,
I would hurt you. Like if you tell me my tape popped, and if you thinking you're gonna throw it in the garbage or something,
no,
are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Right.
Like you be like,
right, no, right. Yeah.
So I'm letting y'all understand hip hop.
Yeah.
This is hip hop. Just feel it. Don't try to break it down. Just feel it, because this is hip hop. When your tape pop and you went and got a piece of tape and you sat there and you got the scissors,
screwed it open.
Right. And if you didn't have no scissors, you up there like this. You up there like that. And you going like this. And then it goes by. And sometimes if you put it in the cassette, it gets stuck in there.
It gets
and then
stuck.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, yo, that's it. So
that's
it
was an experience. So I'm hearing that, and then the initials name, and then wait a minute. Is it them?
No.
Is it them?
No.
How could something get better and just elevate to a point of a crescendo? Who is it? Is it? Who is it? It's us.
You know
it's us, the Cold Crush. You know, and they dropped Spoonie G's Love Rap.
Yo, honestly, no disrespect to Spoonie G, that record is Cold Crush record now.
Oh, for sure.
Like Cold Crush completely owned, certified. I mean, honestly, it's to the point that I was so convinced about how that record, I would have went to the store and said, do you have the Cold
Crush? Right. No disrespect to Spoonie, that's right. Chiba Hawks, hawking, the stick up kids are stalking. With the price of transportation now, it's cheaper to be walking. The girls are just teasing for no apparent reason. And if the fellas want to press charges, they'll be in jail all season. So what you want to do?
Stop counting the crew.
We got an hour or two. Stop counting the crew. Keep rocking up beat. Hold up. What about this bit? Charlie Wally Chase never leaving the bass alone. And on the bass, never leaving Chase alone. So it was just something.
And Tony Tone never leaving the
girl alone. Leaving the girl. Leaving the girls alone. Yeah, it was just something about them. So I'm going through all of that. It's like wrecking my whole perception of how to do hip hop changes now. So then, one of the greatest transitions in a live performance of hip hop is when they went from what's that record that goes blue blue dibba dibba.
Oh, it's called Funkadelics.
Yeah, blue dibba doo. Remember when they went to that and Cass goes? Now everybody knows, it could be 4 or 5 of them, but one by one, you got to see. And Cass goes, I'll take the 2 best. Whoever they are, I got the 2. Who you got? And it sounds like, I don't know if KG got high. KG was like, hi, who you got? What are you talking about? It's 4 of us and 5 of them. He said, I'll take Whip and Rob. You got Ruby D. But then Cass says this. He goes, bust this, y'all. Bust this, y'all. Bust this, but this and bust this, y'all. Some people seem to think that to be an MC, you need a closet full of clothes and lots of jewelry. Pocket full of dollars, walkers every flavor. British walkers every flavor. Stuck up attitude and the kind of behavior. This what killed me. I'm sorry to say that's how it was before, but people ain't going for that no more. You got to give a performance, because by now you should know that you're giving a party, not a fashion show. JDL, ha. JDL, ha, ha. After that, it was over. But then I didn't think it could get no better. The greatest transition, Chase catches it at the end of do-do-do-do-do, and they throw him Big Beat. And then Cash just hit me with this. Now anyone could write a rap and say you're sure, but a real MC you do not call, because you can't write a rhyme at 1:45 to be a real MC before the jam is through. Now all your MCs who are like that, you gotta take a message from the good old Cap. You need a voice that is clear, a DJ like Chase, a good attitude, and a strong Teddy pace. You gotta have both feet on the ground, and plus you can't be a duck. You gotta be down. You got to be looking good at all times. Plus, you gotta have tough and original rhyme. put all that together, and you know what it brings? The Grandmaster. And I'm a running things. So, Doug, here's what happens. This is real funny. Now we can fast forward. I hear that. I throw all my rhymes out. I'm not Easy D anymore. My name is Daryl McDaniels. The initials of my name are DMC. Kaz knows this. I became DMC because of Grandmaster Kaz and the Cold Crush.
Wow.
So my whole attitude changed. Now Run's coming over.
Because Kaz is GMC.
I became DMC because I'm the son of Kaz.
That's crazy.
Like,
I never
only
knew.
hardcore dudes and bumpy knuckles knows this. Like, yo, that's crazy. I changed my. That's why I say they used to call me Easy D because I rocked on the mic on Here We Go, Easily. But now they call me DMC. He's D. So Cold Crush made me say, if I'm going to do this, Cold Crush gave me the confidence to say, Joe, I'll be in your group. Because I know how I'm coming.
Wow.
So that's funny. That summer, I was class of 82. I graduated Rice High School in 1982. That summer in August, the phone rings. It was Joe. Yo, I'm coming to your house. We're going to make it. I'm coming to get you next weekend. We're going to Green Street Recording Studios. And we're going to make a record. The name of the record is going to be called It's Like That, and that's the way it is. Because he knew I was a good writer. He said, write a bunch of rhymes about how the world is. A week later, he pulls up with Larry Smith in the big long Cadillac. Yeah, we go into Green Street Recording. We make It's Like That. And we make a B-side song called Sucker MCs.
How did that happen? How did that happen?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be on Sucker MCs. We did. It's Like That was basically a message record like The Message.
Or like, but stop there now. I remember there was a song, What People Do for Money.
That came after us. Yeah, they bit us.
They came after y'all?
Yeah, they came after us. They came after us. So everybody thought that was our new record too.
Right.
What? Right. Because they were rhyming like we do, but we was trying to be Planet Rock. Right. We was trying to be Soul Sonic, Force Mr. Biggs, Pow Wow, because originally when we went to record It's Like That, Russell wanted a message record.
Right.
So for me, I said, okay, the message was the message, and then Planet Rock was the vision. Because remember, the message came out, it's messed up, but then Planet Rock was, here's what the world could be. So I said, Joe, let's do It's Like That and put all of, let's be optimistic and pessimistic. Let's talk about the wars going on, but let's also say if you go to school, you could achieve something. So we put those two different thoughts into one record to make It's Like That. Because everything, you know.
What about survival?
Well, you're right on cue. Originally, It's Like That, which is It's Like That. And I'm like, it's missing something. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five did Survival. What was catchy about Survival? Survival. And only the strong can survive. So I said, so I said, Joe, what if we go It's Like That, and then we go, and that's the way it is. So
smart.
It's Like That basically bit Survival.
No. Well, let me stop and say this, that I think we were all being inspired by each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but see now going back to the word bite for a minute. See,
bite is taking it word for word.
Right. I want to clarify that because biting is different than inspiration.
Right.
It's different than inspiration. When you're inspired to do something, if I say a line and that line triggers something, like you was inspired by the Cold Crush.
Exactly, right.
And by you being inspired by the Cold Crush, it made you revamp and rethink the whole thing.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It was life changing.
Yeah, I couldn't make an initial, the initials of my name. I couldn't do that, but I can use my initials as my name now. Right. They established. I know what you mean. So yeah, because It's Like That didn't sound like Planet Rock.
They don't sound like at all.
At all.
Only I would know because I mean, you know.
Exactly, right. Theirs was, you know, Arthur Baker, and that record's better than 99.9% of the records out now. If you put Planet Rock on right now, it's a work. The beat, the music, it's phenomenal.
Well, you know where the beat came from, right?
Trans Europe Express.
Right, which is Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk, yeah.
Right.
Heavily inspired.
So
I heard.
that's why I'm saying you can't say the biting thing is
right. Because they didn't just bite numbers, right? Exactly. So it's all inspirational. So we did this, we did our little message record to make Russell, the manager, happy.
That was an incredible record. Because the way it came on, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, and then the sparse, yeah. Yeah, it was very like.
Larry Smith is a bad man.
Larry Smith is one of the greatest producers in hip hop that nobody know about.
Ever.
Like top 5. I know Primo, DJ Premier always brings them up. Pete Rock always brings them up. So we got our breaks. Russell said, you gotta have something like the breaks. So we got our breaks. Suck Seas, but I didn't think Joe rhymes 3 times on the record. That was his record alone. But now that I'm in a group, he's like, Russell let me do It's Like That with him because I wrote the majority of the rhymes.
Right.
But originally, Russell was going to have Run tour and do the song without me. Run DMC, I was lucky Cole Crust inspired me to use the initials of my name, DMC, because it was originally Run the MC. Run the MC, THE.
Right.
So Russell was thinking, even if I don't let D go on the road with Joe, he was going to Martha Wash me. Remember Martha Wash was the black lady that sung the disco records?
Yes.
They hired a beautiful, skinny lady to go perform it and tour.
Yes.
Russell was going to do that with me because to Russell, I'm Joe's knucklehead friend. I'm not, D don't rap. Like,
so how did you and Russell get along? Because Run brought you in.
And Russell wasn't, and even during the recording of it like that, it was and Joey's going to be doing this, and Joey's going to be doing this. And he wasn't saying Joey and Daryl, and Joey's going to be doing this. So this is what happens. So Joe goes lace and Suck Up Siege round. So Run comes out the booth and says, D, go in the room. You need to impress Russell. I want Russell to know that you can really do this. And I'm like, nah, man. You ain't going to get me in trouble. What am I going to say? I don't have it. He just says, yo, go and say your newest rhyme. So my newest rhyme, Doug, was a rhyme that I wrote in my last week at Rice High School because I found out I got accepted to St. John's University.
Right.
Because at the beginning of the year, the guidance counselor says, sends out your stuff to schools to see what feedback you get. And I get this letter, Mr. McDaniels, we would be proud to have you here at St. So I get this letter. Well, I come home from school, I get this letter. And my mother comes home. I don't go tell my mother first. The first thing I do is run to the basement and write a rhyme about it. I'm DMC and the place to be. I go to St. John's University. And since I wrote that rhyme, not knowing Joe was going to call in August.
Now stop there for a minute. So when you used to write your rhymes, you would write them about your experiences a lot
everything
of times.
I was doing, yeah.
Like everything that you would go through,
right.
You would write about your experience. So when you was in school, you wrote about your experiences.
Yes.
Everything. You would just
Taking the bus, the 3 train. I take the bus that they call the 2. They're green. Remember, city buses used to be green and white. The older ones before they went blue, so they green and white. Sometimes blue. I go to hardest hard. I get my loose joint. Like I would write. Because, see, the Rappers of Light was something else. But the Funky Four and those guys showed me I could write about just coming out my house and I'm going to get my British Walkers. So I was just writing rhymes for me.
Right. About your experiences.
Right. So
which is what made it to me very, very, very personal, very unique. And it made it honest.
Right. Exactly. Right. So I wasn't going to write. I got knives and guns, and I didn't do that. I love eating chicken and collard greens.
Hey, it can't get no realer than that.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's like, hip hop taught me keep it real. So what was good about it, when somebody would hit, it was like, Russell was like, okay, this motherfucker must get set. This motherfucker's rhyming about St. John's University and chicken and collard greens, and the shit is sounding good. So Russell was like, okay.
And it's positive.
Right.
On this positive trip.
Yes, right. So he's like, yo, you might have something here. So when I put my rhyme down on Suck Up Seas, all of a sudden I'm Russell's best friend. Because now people's coming in the studio and Russell's calling. He's not calling his brother Joey. DG, come in. Say the rhyme. And every time I would go, 2 years a friend of mine. Can I see you say something? No, DMC in the place to be. I go to say, whoa, like I would always get a whoa for that St. John's University, and then the other one would be, I'm light skinned, I live in Queens, and I love eating chicken. And whoa, so I would get two, and you see my rhyme is so short.
Yeah, but it was, let me tell you though, little hip hop information. It was short, but it was precise. And then when it came on, y'all came on with the rub. GMC.
Yeah, right, yes.
Who thought about putting that rub in there?
I said, you got to do that because that's what Charlie Chase would do. That, you know what I'm saying? So the lost
hip hop, you wanted that real. You wanted the real.
I told Larry Smith, I said, I don't want to make records like Kurt.
Because I never heard nobody rubbing. I never heard nobody bring it in like that.
Right.
I remember I heard it and I was, I'm DMC in the place. And you was going hard. I mean, I wanted hard.
I wanted the records to sound like the tapes. And Larry always knew that. So after Sucker MC was the thing that led to us doing Rock Box, King of Rock, to making, my thing was, let's put Cold Crush routines on records. It's tricky, but it's just a Cold Crush routine.
Right.
Gotta give a big shout out to these other dudes. They have some badass routines too. You know what I'm talking about, from Staten Island, Force MCs.
Woo! The Force MCs.
They
not
had
the
some,
MDs.
right,
the
before
MCs.
they were singers, they were MCs.
That's right.
So they had these tough routines. So my thing was like, yo, my thing was, I want to impress Flash, I want to impress Mel, I want to impress Kaz, I want to impress Mo, I want to impress the Cold Crush, I want to impress the Force MCs. So if I'm coming in, I don't want to be just doing hip hop to hip. I'm the man with the play. I don't want to be doing that. I want to throw on numbers. Poof, poof, that boom. I want to throw in numbers by Kraftwerk and go, it's tricky to, it's tricky. It's just old Mickey.
Right.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fun. So Cold Crush,
wow.
If they
see that?
Yeah, these treacherous three of Force MCs and Cold Crush and Flash and them taught me, take the melody and turn it into a rhyme routine. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you know what made Force MCs really good? The DJ Dr. Rock.
Dr. Rock.
They actually harmonized. God bless Mercury. I mean, me and Stevie D kind of both started at Harlem World at the same time.
Wow.
Me and Stevie D are like this. He called me today.
Wow.
So
I love him.
Yeah, and he had another. He had his cousin who was
Lord K. Roy Wan.
Lord K. Wan,
and
right?
Mercury. They yo
Mercury.
Force MCs with some day, we're the Force MCs from Staten Island, and on the ferry boat we came sailing. We went back and forth, the forth and back to Kentucky MCs on off our track and on the microphone. You know, this is where we belong.
Crazy.
I'm the STE, the VIE. I'm the they were crazy. And Stevie could rhyme. Him and Mercury,
Stevie is the first person I ever seen freestyle off the top of his head. He was at Harlem World, and he was the first person that I have ever heard freestyle in the crowd and just point things out, and he would do it, and he'll be doing it for as long as you want him to do it. Stevie D, as far as freestyle goes, was the first guy I ever seen do that.
So those were the guys that my thing was. It's because of Rice High School. I don't think if I didn't go to Rice, I would have never experienced what hip hop was before, what hip hop is before it was recorded. Because that's the thing. I wasn't just going to rhyme if I couldn't do it like Shoot. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do that. I'm not trying to look pretty. I'm not, Cold Crush, need tuxedos. You know what I'm saying? So at Cold Crush, Crash Crew, Flashes, Shoot, they created a monster in me. And so I said, we gotta put beat tapes. Remember beat jams? I wanted to put beat jams on records. And I don't want to rhyme over the R&B song. I want to rhyme over the beat.
So did you like rhyming off of the action track, Sucker MC's track better than doing It's Like That? Or which one did you like doing better? Which record did you like recording more?
Well, you know, it's funny. I love the power of It's Like That. People in the world trying to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny. I like It's Like That better than Sucker MCs.
Because you like the power. Because you like the power of it.
But yeah, I felt in command. You know what I'm saying?
Doom, 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 doom.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Right. So once I think for RunDMC, once we established, and people tell me, yo, Sucker MCs came out and changed shit. That opened up rhyming. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to make Sucker MCs just made it so you didn't have to make heartbeat songs no more. We don't have to make good times no more. Now you can just
change everything. It showed you that all you needed was the beat. But anybody that studies hip hop carefully, Love Rap wasn't nothing but the beat also.
Exactly.
But nobody would really say that because it was more. Commercially, it wasn't
right. I think if Love Rap would have came after Sucker MCs, because Love Rap is phenomenal,
unbelievable.
This
Pumpkin was the drummer.
Yeah, and Spoonie was a master.
I recorded with Pumpkin.
On the Harlem World Battle tape, Spoonie, he's rhyming over his Love Rap. He said, "Tis, tis, I appreciate this, because some of these MCs are taking the risk, trying to take my chair, but don't you dare, because I haven't seen an MC anywhere to act like a child, try to see my." I was like, whoa. So those are the guys.
Let me tell you a piece with that, and this is a true story here, because I was the little kid around Spoonie G. This is a little backstory. I kept telling Spoonie, because he didn't want to go and get in no contests and stuff like that. I said, Spoonie, a lot of people think you just rhyme about women. I said, but Spoonie, I said, you know, you're one of the nicest I've ever heard. I said, you know, it would be crazy. I said, you ever thought about getting in any MC contest? And then he said, you know what? I just might do that. Wow. And I also think he did it because Mo did what he did. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. See, because the contest was belittled. It was like under a person that was recording. Like Treacherous 3 was a recording group. Yep. So for Mo to come off a recording and go and do this contest, it made it a different kind of situation. So I think Spoonie realized, like, you know what? Let me show these dudes exactly what I do. Because everybody is nice. I mean, when I say nice.
Right. Because most of his stories is about meeting a girl. Like, that's what he became known for. He was like, nah, Spoonie, you go show them. They don't. When they tis, I appreciate this. Because that let me know, all right, Spoonie's in the class, but he's like, you know.
Spoonie is like, don't get it twisted.
Right, he laid it and he dropped it. It was a mic drop and he said, I'm done. Now y'all know. And nobody ever approached him. They left him alone.
Right.
They was incredible with the new rap language.
A whole nother
do it. We rock. Then don't stop. Where's the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious little finger doodle magic tricks? Is this the way we get our Chris? We're qualified and rectified and rock it till the day we die. We hold our honor and our power. We take the steps that can't be tried. Before rock and have some fun, let's introduce us one by one on Special K. You know who's fly and are always Special K? His voice, if you listen to him on them records,
unbelievable.
He was incredible.
And I'm gonna tell you who else. LA Sunshine, out of all of them on the stage performing,
it's the best.
I learned from LA Sunshine.
Really?
I learned from LA Sunshine, Special K. I'm actually getting ready to do a record with Special K now.
Yes.
I have to because he is, in my book, one of the top that ever did it. And that's why, you know, see, and you know, I'm talking to you and the passion and the love that you have for this particular thing called hip hop is the reason why your energy cut through. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wanted people to hear when they're listening to that rhyme, when they're listening, like you took us through. I wanted to go from there all the way just to this point for a second.
Get there, right.
Just to explain that all of this energy that you gave on these records wasn't make believe. This was you rhyming about your life.
Yep.
You are deciding whether you want to do it. You study the masters of this particular thing.
Right.
You figured out how to find your way in it. And and honestly, that in itself explains why when you came on that record, like Run had them rocking on Suck MCs, but when you came on, and it's just my opinion, and you know I keep it real. You came on like I'm kicking this door open, like boom.
Right. No,
I'm DMC in the place to be.
Yeah.
And then when you said it, you was like, and then you said, since kindergarten I acquired the knowledge, and after 12th grade I go straight to college. And then when the beat dropped, that was one of them pass out moments. That was one of them, oh shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember, and I'm gonna tell you a side, I remember everybody from that generation of tapes.
Yeah.
Feeling, who's that? Who's those dudes? Who's those dudes? Yeah. So y'all was gonna get that energy of just feeling like, because I mean, look at Grandmaster Kaz's level of skill. Look at Special K's level of skill. Look at all of these guys. Look at Hollywood. Yep. So a lot of these guys never felt that with their level of skill, the Cold Crush, their level of skill, they never got that jump start to get in there. And you were learning from them. So it's kind of like, you know, when people talk about the Negro League and baseball, and you looking at these guys, like, and we talk about, you know, all of the greats in baseball, but if you study the league that came before we was accepted, you will see some statistics that will blow your mind.
Right. Untouchable. These dudes were untouchable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
so you saying this stuff is so beautiful.
Because they're like our Miles Davises and our Coltrane's.
Right.
And they're still here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my thing is like, you thought this DMC guy was dope on that Suck MC record? Wait till you hit Shoot. Like, people don't understand that. They don't. That's why I say the period before recorded hip hop is the greatest period of the hip hop, because that's all there is. You know, it's not easy to get a hit record, but it's easy to make a record. What these dudes was doing, it allowed something special and unique to manifest. Like new rap language, Shoot, the Cold Crush routines, remember the Force MCs over and Peace the President. We are called the for awesome. See, and I always know that with their voices.
I was there.
See, right. See, you got the scene of, imagine this little kid from the Queens listening, wondering, what do they look like? Who is this? So that, my thing was, I want that feeling to be there every time. Like even on, when we did Rockbox was because of Larry Smith. For Rockbox.
Who thought of putting the rock to the music? That was you.
Because I wanted to make Billy Squires Bigby.
Unbelievable.
Like,
hold on. We got to stop.
The DMX drum machine.
Right. We got to stop for a second. So how did you convince Larry, Russell, Run? How did you convince them to embrace rock? Because I know in my crew, when I was making this show, Rick thought it was whack.
Right.
And
I always get there.
I had to convince him. I had to convince him. You know what I mean? So what did you do?
It's classic.
Right. You know, I'm telling you truthful conversation.
Right.
What did you do to convince them?
I played Good Times, and then I played Mo D rhyming over Billy's Bigby. I didn't know it was Billy Squire. I just knew it was the record that goes boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, and then I got the baby. And then right when it comes in, you go back to the front. If Russell and Larry let the guitars play over, this what convinced them. I played Good Times, and then I played what else record I played? I played Good Times, and I played Heartbeat, and then I played Billy Squire's Big Beat, and then I played a tape of Lisa Lee rhyming with the echo chamber over what I didn't know was Aerosmith's Walk This Way.
Wow.
And on those tapes, the way those sound systems would make Big Beat and Walk This Way sound was like, I said, we got to do that. Because Larry and Russell, they wanted to make Curtis Blow, Jimmy Spicer sounding records.
Right.
I said, no, we have to do this. But what convinced them to do it was when I played Billy Squire's Big Beat and I started doing my little rhyme routines, Rockbox was a rhyme about weed. Instead of wheeling and dealing, you got a funny feel. It was a routine. Wheeling and dealing, you got a funny feeling. You tried to smoke that sense a million. You tried your best to smoke that cess, and now you bust your motherfucking chest. You coughed it, coughed it. Like I had a routine. I was writing all these routines in my books.
Right.
So Russell used to always go, yo, let me see your book. Let's see what we can make. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a record like Billy Squire's Big Beat. So Larry Smith showed me the DMX drum machine. He said, this is the kick and this is the snare. Remember it had the tick thing? Tick, 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 tick.
The metronome, right?
Yeah, to keep it on beat. So he's like, this is the kick and this is the snare. So instead of going boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom, I said, I don't want to bite Billy Squire all the way. I'm going to go boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, stop. And I stopped and it kept going. I said, Larry, you gotta make that beat really, really hard, like Billy Squire's Big Beat, so I could go wheeling, dealing, you got a funny feeling. We rock from the floor up to this ceiling. I wanted to make a routine of that. So he laid that, I laid the first part of the verses, and then Larry picks up the bass, because Larry's a bass player. He starts going doo 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 doo. So originally it was just bass and beat, and that's the way me and Ron wanted the record to come out. But Larry said, I got this friend named Eddie Martinez who was playing with the rock band Quiet Riot. So Larry was like, yo, we're gonna make this a Billy Squire rock song. So he called Eddie Martinez from Quiet Riot in to lay all the guitars. But originally I just wanted to make, I was like, nobody's making a record like Big Beat. We got to do that. My thing was to always be hard like the tapes. So we came up with, but I got to give props to Russell and Larry. They was the ones that said, we're going to let the guitars play on the whole thing. That was revolutionary. So right. when we did that, that's what helped us get on MTV.
Those guitars.
Yeah, Rockbox was the first rap song on MTV. The guitars helped. But what was good about it was, from me and Run's perspective, it wasn't like a record where we was talking about rock and roll and raps together. No, it was just me and Run rhyming. I couldn't wait to demonstrate all the super diff rhymes that I create. I'm a wizard of a word. That's what you heard, and anything else is quite absurd.
Y'all had that little
echo. Yes.
That was you.
That's all me. Yes.
That was you.
Hey, we gotta put all of that in it. So my whole thing, like you said, the scratch on Suck MC, it's gotta be like the tape. That was my whole thing. It's gotta be like the tapes. It's gotta be like the tapes. Like
and Larry listened. That's another good thing to say. Larry was like listening to you.
I heard you on
and Russell, right?
Yeah. They listened. They definitely listened. And that's what gave us the signature sound. So we did Rockbox, did the first album, and Rockbox helped that first album go gold. So the second album, I'm soup now. I'm like, yo, Rockbox is killing. I'm like, I don't want to be the king of rap, because now this is crazy. So this is 84. Rockbox comes out. Rockbox comes out. It was like, people loved it. You know, we wasn't sure people was gonna love the. If you listen to the Rockbox single, it was the A side, the B side. The A side is the Rockbox version. The B side is the Rockbox version without the guitars on it. Because me and Run was like, just in case the people don't like the guitars all the way through, we got the raw hip hop version.
I didn't
But
know.
no, yeah. If you go ask Chill Will,
Yeah, I
Gary
remember
Vee,
hearing it now. Now I remember.
there's a
hearing
version with no guitars on it that we thought was going to be better, but it wasn't. So now that's 84. We go into 85. I'm sued. So I'm writing, instead of writing I'm the king of rap, I didn't want Melly Mel, because Mel was saying it and Kurt was saying it. So I was like, I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm funny, like, you got to understand. I had no idea. I'm doing it. I'm doing what Mo and them do, but I'm still a fan of it.
You said, I don't want to get in no trouble.
I don't want to get in no trouble. So Larry comes over with the King of Rock beat, and I had this rhyme that's stuff. But here's the funny thing. When Larry made the King of Rock beat, Russell and them just told me, go in the booth and rhyme. Because usually what would happen, I would just go in the booth and rhyme, Doug. And they would say, stop. That's why Rock Rocks didn't have a chorus. Wow. Stop right there. Let it breathe, rhyme again. And then once they saw what I was writing, then Joe would go write his little 8-bar, you know, because he's a starter group. He would have to put his 2 cents in.
Right.
But all of the rest of our long records was just all stuff out my rhyme books. So
right.
They would tell me, go in the booth and rhyme. So I would just go in the booth and do rhymes out my rhyme book. And we was
stop there. So when you would rhyme and you would take stuff from the rhyme book, you didn't mind him saying some of the rhymes.
Right, at all.
Right, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. Y'all the rhyme.
Switch off, you take those,
right,
you
right.
say this
Because
together.
that's how the Cold Crush did it, and I don't know if you remember that. You know, like AD and KG and a lot of them used to come in with different ideas, but Raz was the guy who was writing a lot of the routines.
Right, exactly. So same thing. See, I didn't know that the guys.
You didn't even know that, right? At the time.
I didn't know the guys that I looked up to was doing the same thing I was doing. I was always writing. So I went in there and I rhymed for like 4 minutes on the King of Rock record, and it was one rhyme that was at the end of the record. Oh, it wasn't. They didn't mute the beat. Russell heard at the end of the record, I go, I'm the king of rock. There's none higher. So Russell said, stop, edit that. Remember we used to cut tape? He said, cut that part there, put it in the front of the record and take the drums out. Let that be the opening. We're going to call this record King of Rock. So that's how King of Rock came about. I'm the king of rock was actually at the end of the song. Russell said, stop.
Unbelievable.
Put that in, because I was just, my whole thing was, we got another dilemma. Since we're from Queens, we get looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I talked to Camel and Cass, said they was mad at us. Because they said, it wasn't just what y'all was saying, it was the way y'all see. I had all this confidence, grabbing and folding your arms, you know what I'm saying? Right. It wasn't until we sat down and said, yo, because of y'all this and that. But I mean, who are these Queens guys? So my dilemma was explaining to people, number one, who our presence wants to be taken, respected, but everybody was
that more you, or was that Run? Was that deep? Like, because you
was just writing the right. I was just writing the right.
Yeah, but I'm going here. I'm saying, so this was the way that you felt about, Cold Crush. Watching, Kumo D, Treacherous Street, watching Foursome MCs and stuff. So this was you that felt this way, but Run was coming from a different perspective because he didn't go through these experiences. So his experiences, like Russell's experiences, Hollywood. Russell's experience is Curtis Blow. Russell's experience is trickled down to Run, and Run is that little brother who was up under Russell, who was able to get some of these gifts by being with Curtis Blow.
Right.
But you were bringing a whole nother, like it was another evolving culture going on that was different.
That's why
that's what I'm saying. So did Run really, like, did he feel the same way you did, or it didn't matter to him because he didn't have the same affinity that you had?
Well, Run was right. I'm doing it for more respect. We got to do this right. It's sacred. It's religion. You know what I'm saying? Run's thing was, let's get money. Fuck these motherfuckers. I'm gonna be totally different. Run was very competitive.
Right.
Run was very competitive. I wasn't competitive. I wanted to be accepted. You know what I'm saying, dog? So Run's experience with hip hop is totally different from mine. It's
Right, well, that's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah. So
That's why
my
I'm asking
thing
this
was
question.
tread lightly. Run didn't care about that. Fuck. I'm gonna tell you the story, and this is where it came out. So the King of Rock comes out, and at that time we was doing shows. Remember, Russell was managing Curtis Blow, Houdini, Jimmy Spicer. He started Rush Management and all of that. So we was doing a lot of shows with Kurt. And this is the day the father had to let the son go. We was at, this was 1985, early 1985. King of Rock is just starting to get hot. So we're doing the New York Music Awards. Years ago, they had this I think it was the New York Post sponsored the New York Music Awards.
Right. I remember that.
Remember the New York? They would give remember Shannon and all of those R&B club artists back in the day. They would get these awards, and they gave us one for King of Rock now. So we was in the dressing room, and Jay and Run and Russell, everybody had left the dressing room. So I was sitting there with Kurt, and Kurt comes over to me and he says, "Yo." And I changed it, but he still was feeling some way about it. He comes over and he says, "Yo, you got to stop saying you the king." Because I'm like, mine's is different. You're the king of rap. I'm the king of rock. He said, because now people are starting to call me the king. Because the king, the king, yo. So he says, "Yo, you got to stop saying you're the king." And I go, because I'm a student, obedient. I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me to shoe, I'm going to shoe. I go, okay. So Kurt leaves and Run comes in. He sees me like, "What's the matter, D?" And I didn't know no better. I go, "Oh, well, Kurt just told me I can't say king no more." Run. Guy from Crush Group. What? What? Come on, D. Run takes me to Kurt. Curses Kurt out. "Fuck you, motherfucker, you whack." What did I fuck? This and that was the day Kurt and Run just separate. He said, "D, you say you the king as loud as you want." You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing was,
and let me say something about Curtis. Curtis at that time was going through a lot of psychological stuff. He seen y'all coming. He seen me coming. You know what I mean? I had a run-in with Curtis Blow as well.
Yeah, Kurt was the man.
You know, yeah, because, you know, Kurt was, you know, he was just...
He's a superstar.
Right, he was a superstar. And, you know, when you're starting to see these kids that used to be up under you, because, you know, it's so bizarre that we're talking about this, because I had a similar run-in with Curtis, and when he was in a trailer, we was at his show. And I had a similar situation that happened where me and him got hot with each other, and then later on, you know what I mean, I felt like, you know, I needed to apologize to him because he is Curtis Blow. So I understand. See, so I was kind of like feeling that, because by him coming,
he came and told me, like, "Yo," he was on some Harlem street shit. Right. "You got to stop saying you the king." It's ruined. He didn't, "Yo, it's fucking me up." Like, I know just changing the guard is coming, but he was like, he didn't tell Joe. He came and told me, like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, he whispered it like, "Yo." You know what I'm saying?
From across the room, I'm like, "Okay, you got it." But I wrote that, I told Joe, he turned into Crush Group, like, "Fuck you, this and that," you know what I'm saying? And then that was the day everything changed after that. Everything changed after that King of Rock thing. And that was just, you know, Curtis Blow having to let Joey go. And I had to let my son go, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but I'll never forget that day. So for me, my thing was just always trying to stay, keeping, what's that word when you say, I want Jim Brown to respect me. I want Jim Brown to see I'm carrying on the legacy. My thing is to never let what me and you felt when we first hip-hop died. It could go commercial, it could go big business, and this and that. But if all of this ends, if the music business ends today, Doug, we still got hip-hop. Like, I heard you on tapes rhyming over Planet Rock, and I heard you on tapes rhyming over In Priest the President. We'll always have that. So my thing is, every time I'm coming, that's the thing that I'm trying to keep alive. So that's 85.
So where did that change? So after 85, and then with King of Rock and stuff like that, and all of these things that occurred at the time, and you know, and y'all are at a height because King of Rock worked as well, right?
Right.
So with all of this working out as well, and y'all are moving forward, when did it become? When did it start to become overwhelming?
Probably after Raising Hell album.
So before Raising Hell, everything
it was smooth. Yeah, it was just smooth. It was just smooth. It would just come to the studio. It was no, let me see what you got. It was none, you got to chart, you got to sell. It was no you got us. It was just do it. After Raising Hell, it wasn't the same way it was when I was in my basement writing no more. And
right.
That's the thing that totally discombobulated my whole existence. But leading up to that, after King of Rock, going into Raising Hell, people started saying, "Oh, RunDMC," so because y'all came, you came,
yeah, we came,
y'all came hard, really hard, really hard. Like
we came,
right.
Yeah.
But we didn't have our Curtis Blow moment. I think because of me, I would always go back to 81.
Right.
When somebody like you would come, or when Eric would come, or when Rakim would come, this is just me. And I would try to slip it in to RunDMC just to say yes, but as long as we do this, we'll be all right. Because remember, in 85, you know, we had this like that. So we became commercial, MTV stars, and
right.
people started saying we was over. When y'all came, y'all elevated hip hop. We
right.
was the bridge of the old and new school. So when people would think our old school style is going to be over, I would do stuff like, yo, let's do a here we go routine. Because when these new motherfuckers hear that, it may be old to us. I know Kaz is going to know this is routine. Mel, Doug is going to know. But the audience, these critics, they're going to know. They don't know about this. They know about me being the king of rock now. And they know about Jam, Kick Off Your Shoes Jump. They know about my radio shit. But they don't know about Jay on the 2 turntables with Big B. And I'm opening it. I'm going to walk up there and go 1, 2, 3 in the place to be as I was playing to see. He is DJ Run. I am DMC. Funky, you know what I'm saying? So
was that a live show?
Yes, at the Funhouse.
That was crazy. Who thought of letting that one out?
The record label taped it that night, but they didn't put it out until later. We played the Funhouse in '83. DJ Jellybean Benitez.
I remember. I played
was
it too.
the DJ.
I used to play the Funhouse weekly.
Yeah, right. That was a hip. Yep. So we played them.
And the DJ looked like a clown.
Yep. Remember that? Yeah. So we didn't know Jellybean recorded it that night. So in '85, Profile said we're gonna drop that. And I'm saying yes, drop that. So those little things would keep us, you know, relevant. So then we did the Raising Hell thing. We did 86. We go to Raising Hell. Now with Raising Hell, we had a problem because all of y'all was out.
Right.
Everybody they wasn't paying attention to us no more. So we said we gotta go in and we gotta make sure every record is dope so that when we perform live on stage, that's why My Adidas, Peter Piper, Tricky, all of those records was made for our stage performance. We didn't know it was that energy was gonna transcend so well on a record. Like when Joe wrote Joe wrote You Be Illin' for the Raising Hell album because he was inspired by Prince when Doves Cried. See, wow. Joe was always the commercial.
Right, he always thought like that, which is brilliant.
Which is brilliant. My thing was I was always thinking street. Like I was always thinking tape.
Which also is brilliant because it's the balance of the both of them.
The yin and the yang. The yang and the yang.
But why didn't y'all use Larry Smith on the next project?
Oh, on the Raising Hell. Larry did the first album, RunDMC album, King of Rock album. For the Raising Hell album, what had happened was,
like, what happened to make y'all say, Rick Rubin, I'm not using Larry Smith? Because Larry Smith
I don't know. I just started coming to the studio. Larry wasn't there no more.
Wow.
I think you could read about some of that. There's a book out called Walk This Way. written by Jeff Eggers. He was a writer for the Boston Globe or something like that.
Right.
Or the Boston, what's that? The Washington Post.
Okay.
So he wrote the story about that. It started getting internal with Russell and Larry. Because now it's big business.
Right, so yeah. So it got real. Like they started to have their
little, right, exactly.
And usually, D, it got something to do with money.
Of course, yes. But we didn't know that because we wasn't in those meetings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We wasn't on the other side of those doors. So it was a casual thing. We was working in Chungking House of Metal.
I used that studio too.
Remember? Heavy D,
I think I started using that studio because y'all was using that studio.
Heavy D came through there. Everybody, Rick came through there. Y'all came. So the Beastie Boys was a punk rock group recording out of Chungking House of Metal. So I guess after Russell started hanging with Rick, get ready to do the Def Jam thing, and Tila Rock writes "It's Yours."
Wasn't that crazy? Well, no. Special
K wrote Special K wrote "It's Yours" for his brother. Rock. Tila, right.
And
that was the first record on Def Jam.
That's right. And Jazzy J was the producer. But I don't know if you know that Jazzy J was also he's the guy who was coming up with this whole thing, Def Jam Records.
I know. Yep.
Jazzy J was a part of that whole thing.
Yep.
You know
about that.
Yeah. So when that happened,
so Rick started being around at that time. So we're recording the Raising Hell album, and Rick is just coming in the sessions, and Rick is just basically doing stuff like, don't sample, play the guitar for My Sharona, because Tricky's also My Sharona. So Rick would just be sitting there and say, no, give me the guitar, because Rick was producing the Beasties, and Rick was in bands. So Rick was basically, no, play that over. Do this part like that. No, change that there. Do this here. Well, so Jay and Rick started hitting it off, because they were just talking music. Me and Ron would just come and lay our verses and go. We wasn't the studio guys. We just come and put the beat on, Peter Piper, Pepper, run, and then we go. We can't.
Who thought about using breaking bells?
Jam Master Jay.
He's the one that said use.
Well, no. It was Run, because remember Run was a DJ. He used to take the disco breaks and put the records together to see what would sound good together. Like when we did Mary Mary and all of that, Run would come up with the records, but Jay would actually lay it DJ in the studio. But it was Run's idea to use the breaking.
So Jay did the DJing on that. And
Jay would produce it. Run would say, use breaking bells in this, and Jay would go make the beat and do all. Jay would DJ live in the studio.
So because underneath of it is an 808. It's heavy 808s under there.
Yeah.
Who put those under there? Was that Rick or
Jay? Jam Master Jay.
Jam Master Jay.
Rick never wrote anything for us or produced anything.
Rick Rubin never produced nothing?
Never created. Never wrote, never said do this, never use this, never. He would just do stuff like say that rhyme second. Put that over there. He never everything on Raising Hell was created by us. He never wrote or he never came in with a beat. He's not that type of producer. He's kind of like what George Martin was for the Beatles.
Right.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon would write everything.
Right. It's a very important role.
It's a huge role, because George Martin would say, run those guitars through that synthesizer. Oh, do that. No, use a keyboard. So Rick would say, like I remember when we did Peter Piper, and when it came time for my solo rhyme, Jay's like King Midas, as I was told, everything that he touched turned to gold. When we laid it like that, I didn't like it. And Rick was like, it's so perfect. Why would you want to change it? Because it didn't have the energy of Peter Piper, Pepper, Run. Because remember, when I come on with that, it seems like the record drops down.
Right.
So Rick, as a producer, he says, okay, do you want to change it? It's 4 in the morning. He says, come to the studio tomorrow at 11. It's already 4 in the morning. So I'm coked up. I done drunk a case of Old English. I never liked weed. I done smoked weed with Running Jay. And Rick is like, come tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So I wanted to change it so bad. I show up at 11 o'clock. So I go in there and I do my rhyme. Instead of going J's like King Midas, as I was told, everything. I go in there and I'm J's like King Midas, and I was told, and I come, it's not hard. So Rick let me do that. He says, come on in, and he sits me down. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon now. He said, here's what you did last night, and here's what you did just now. Which one sounds better? And I said, for some reason, the one I did yesterday sounds better. He said, yes. He said, because you're doing it. Peter Piper opens up. Peter Piper, pepper, run, rock, rock. It opens with that explosion. But when it gets halfway to you, when you come to drop this line, the perception of anybody listening to you and anybody at the show, they're like, yo, this guy DMC is so damn powerful. He ain't even got a yell in the midst of this record, and the shit is still dope. And he says, plus, you're explaining to somebody who your DJ is. Jay's like King Midas is out. As he said, it's a whole different feeling. So you tell me which one is better for your presentation. That one. So it's those little things where, you know,
he was able to look at the big picture.
Exactly. But he never, and Ron will tell you this, and Jay, he never came in. He wasn't like a Dr. Dre or Pete Rock. He's not that guy. He's the guy that sits back and makes you be the best who you could be. Right. So he made sure I was D and Run was Run and J was J. So that's why when I answered your question, it was like, when did it all change? It was after Raising Hell, because now Raising Hell's this big successful the Walk This Way thing.
So when Raising Hell dropped, as with that record, last part to the album, because I think it's important to talk about this. Now, back in the parks, we would just play the beginning of that joint. You know what I mean? Of the record of
Walk This Way.
Walk This Way. We would just cut it up, and that's where the DJs would do it.
Yeah, we never get to the verses.
Right, we never get to the verses. So now, whose idea was it to, number one, use that record, and also to let it go into rhyming the verses rather than singing them? Right. Because I thought that's a very pivotal part. Like it was a build-up from Rock Box to King of Rock to Walk This Way. And when you get to Walk This Way, it's like you were spoon feeding us to get to that point, and then you put both of your feet in it. And Aerosmith at the time, from what I understand, because I wasn't following them,
it was over.
Yeah, I heard that they was over.
Completely over.
But in the world of hip hop, that beat was not over.
Right. Whoa, it's one of the best beats.
That beat will never be over.
Never be over.
So that's what I'm saying. Right. So what made y'all go all the way instead of just cutting it? I mean, y'all could have done the same thing with Breaking Bells. That's ball.
Yeah, exactly.
But y'all didn't go all the way.
Exactly.
Something had to click to make you say, no, let's go all the way with this. Let's stop playing games. Right. What was that?
All right. So originally, what we was going to do, Raising Hell, Walk This Way was one of the last records on the Raising Hell album. So originally, Jay goes, yo, let's make a song using Toys in the Attic.
I remember Toys in the Attic. That's hot.
Yeah, Toys in the Attic. So, but we didn't know Toys in the Attic is the name of the album.
Right.
With the teddy bear on it.
Right.
So for us, it was get Toys in the Attic and play number 4. Because remember, the DJs used to scratch the title of the record off. So I never
Nobody wanted you to know their heat. Nobody wanted you to know their heat.
So it was, Jay was like, we're going to make it deep. Because Jay knew that was one of my favorite beats to rhyme over ever. So he was like, we're going to make a record off of Toys in the Attic. So the original version of Walk This Way was a loop of the opening drums, then back to the drums, all the way through. Right. So it was a loop of that. Right. Rick Rubin walks into the studio, and I remember how the record was going to go, because I was the writing guy. So it was going to go, it's 86 now. So my rhyme was over Walk This Way drums, and the guitar in and out was, I'm DMC in the place to be, been rhyming on the mic since 83. I'm the best MC in history. There's not another MC better than me. And then Run was supposed to go, and I'm DJ Run. I'm number 1, here to get it done and have some fun. at the end of the day, pull out my gun. And that's how the record was going to go. So Rick comes in the studio.
No, hold on. I got to stop you there. Hey, you know what? I've never done this on my live ever in the history of these lives. But, yo, I think I got to go out and come back in because I don't think that I can leave people right here in the middle of this story. So I don't want to.
All right, we got to end with the Walk This Way story, right?
Yeah, I don't want to abuse your time, and I don't want to abuse our, you know. I mean, I didn't even, you know, I know how we get because we go, but I'm just trying to. Are you okay with me doing that just to finish this out, or how you feel?
I mean, we could save it and come back another day with the Walk This Way story.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So let me just say, it was Rick's idea to say, he just said this, we went with this. Do the record the way the band did it originally. Jay goes, yo, rest in peace, I love Jay. Yo, that might be a crazy idea. Me and Run, hell no. Nope. Y'all taking this rock rap shit too fucking far. You're trying to ruin us. I don't even know the verses.
Right. Look. So hold on. So I'm gonna stop this shit here.
And come back with part 2.
And we'll come back with the part 3.
Right, part 3. Oh my goodness, right.
Because we ain't even really, you know.
We didn't, right, exactly.
I'm gonna leave it alone. And hopefully, if you got time, whenever you got time, we'll do it. But I'm gonna tell you,
we'll pick it up again. We got to do part 3.
Yeah, we got to do part 3
because we didn't even get to Down with the King yet.
We didn't even get to
Pete Rock. I got to tell you all about Pete Rock.
Look. So I'm gonna stop here. Hey, yo, bro, I appreciate you.
No, this is
and
amazing.
hopefully, I'm gonna reach out to Eric Blam because you know I don't like to bother you.
Right.
So Eric Blam. We're going to find out when you have a moment, and we're going to put this in order so that this will be real. They telling me to save it because everybody's afraid I might lose it. So I'm going to let you go.
All right.
I'll see you later. All right.